Imagine this. You're 60 years old, just 5 years away from your planned retirement. You've worked your whole life to get to the top. You've climbed the corporate ladder and became the CEO, paid off your debt, put your kids through university, and you honestly believed the most financially stressful years were behind you. And then, out of nowhere, you're called into a board meeting. The company is under severe financial pressure. Profitability has declined. Shareholders want action. The executive committee is restructuring. And despite all your experience, your role is being terminated. And in one moment, certainty turns into uncertainty. And the first question is immediate and confronting. Do I try to find another job at 60? And if I do, will anyone hire me at this stage of my career? Then the deeper questions start to stack up. Can I retire earlier than I planned? How much can I safely spend every month? Will my savings actually last? And more importantly, how much tax am I going to pay? And if something happens to me, will my family be financially okay? These are not abstract questions. They're real, they're emotional, and they change how we sleep at night. In this video, we're going to work through them together, step by step, to bring clarity to an otherwise overwhelming situation. If you're new to this channel, my name is Hardy Swart. I'm a certified financial planner and the managing director at Family Wealth Custodians. We work with executives, business owners, and retirees across South Africa who are navigating complex decisions, especially around retirement and unexpected life events. And over the years, we've guided thousands of South Africans through the shift from earning an income to living off their capital. But before we continue, just a quick request. If you find value in this video, please do us a favor and subscribe to the Family Wealth YouTube channel and share it with someone who might need a bit more structure or clarity. Our mission is simple, to positively impact the financial well-being of South Africans through education and sound planning. And like always, a quick disclaimer. Everything in this video is hypothetical in nature and is not intended to be personal financial advice. If you need personal financial advice, you can consult a certified financial planner to help you with your unique circumstances. One of the hardest transitions in life is moving from saving to spending. For decades, the question was simple: how much can I save? But at retirement, the question becomes: how do I make what I've saved last for the rest of my life? And the reason this feels uncomfortable is because the margin for error gets quite small. Market downturns matter more, taxes matter more, and decisions in the first few years can have long-lasting consequences. Without a clear framework, people start second-guessing everything. So the purpose of this video is to help you connect the dots and show you how income, investments, tax, inflation, and longevity all come together. Let's set the scene clearly. We are looking at a hypothetical couple, let's call them Tom and Mary, both age 60, who are considering retirement earlier than planned because of Tom's retrenchment. They've accumulated a nice nest egg of about 22 million rand across retirement funds, investments, and other assets. So for Tom and Mary, the question is simple. Can we retire now? And if we do, how much do we safely spend every month without running out of money? This isn't only about lifestyle spending. It's about maintaining purchasing power, covering future medical costs, and managing tax efficiently and protecting the family's long-term outcomes. At Family Wealth Custodians, we use what we call the dynamic retirement income plan because retirement isn't static or a straight line. Your spending changes, your needs change, your health changes, even your goals change. So instead of relying on a fixed withdrawal rule, we align income planning to real life scenarios, and we adjust that as your circumstances evolve. We break retirement into 3 phases. The first phase we call the go-go years or early retirement, typically the first 10 to 15 years. This is where spending is usually the highest. Travel, hobbies, experiences. This is the finally I have enough time phase. Secondly, we call the next phase the slow-go years or middle retirement. That year, travel slows down, activity reduces, and spending becomes more predictable. And then the final phase is what we call the no-go years or late retirement. This is later life. Lifestyle spending drops, but medical and healthcare costs usually becomes the biggest expense in this phase. This is the phase many retirees underestimate, and it's the phase that can break a plan if you don't build it correctly. We always build income from the bottom up. Step one is medical expenses. Medical inflation in South Africa is often between 10 to 12% per year, much higher than normal inflation. So even if medical costs feel manageable today, they don't stay that way forever. Here's a mini example. Let's keep it simple. If your medical cost today is, say, 8,000 Rand per month, and it increases at 10% per year, it doesn't grow slowly, it accelerates. In roughly 7 to 8 years, you're closer to about 15,000 Rand per month. And 15 years from now, you're in a completely different world. That's why we start there, because it's a non-negotiable. The second step is all about essential living expenses. Then we budget for housing, utilities, food, transport, and insurance, the costs that keep your life stable. These must keep pace with inflation, otherwise your lifestyle quietly erodes every year. Only after that do we plan for travel, leisure, and hobbies. This is the flexible part. It's usually the highest early on in retirement, and it declines over time. And this is the lever we adjust when life changes. This framework works because it's realistic and adaptable. It prioritizes essentials first. It plans for inflation properly, and it gives you flexibility where you actually need flexibility. And most importantly, it gives you clarity, because retirees don't only need returns, they need confidence. In this example, the couple needs the following after-tax amounts: about 100,000 Rand per month in the go-go years, 90,000 Rand per month in the slow-go years, and it drops down to approximately 70,000 Rand per month in the no-go years. These are expressed in today's rands and adjusted annually for both inflation and medical inflation. So if we circle back to Tom and Mary's portfolio, we will see the following. So if we look at Tom's situation, he has the following that forms part of his retirement assets. He has a retirement annuity of approximately 6 million Rand, a tax-free savings account of about 430,000 Rand, a pension preservation fund of approximately 2 million Rand, and an investment plan of about 400 million Rand. He also has a rental income that's worth about 2.1, a rental property that's worth about 2.1 million Rand, from where he earns a rental income of about 240,000 Rand a year. And if we look at Mary's side of the equation, Mary has a retirement annuity of about 1 million Rand, another retirement annuity of additional 3 million Rand, a tax-free savings account of about 470,000 Rand, company shares valued at about 2 million Rand, and an investment plan of about 1 million Rand. And if we put this all together, that equates to a total portfolio of about 22 million Rand in retirement. But here's an important point. In their situation, most of their capital, 12 million of the total 22 million Rand, is invested in tax-deferred retirement accounts, like retirement annuities and pension preservation funds. When they retire, these funds will be converted either into a living or a life annuity, which will provide their income. However, this income will be fully taxed at their marginal tax rate. Now, when we ran Tom and Mary's plan through our software, even with a reasonable long-term return assumption, the plan wasn't fully funded. On the first pass, the numbers suggested that their retirement was only about 71% funded, assuming they live until the age of 95. That's a wake-up call, and that's why structure matters. This means that based on the calculations, their money would run out at approximately the age of 78. Now, the question is, what are their options to improve their outcomes? In this example, the couple are moderate investors. They need enough growth to keep up with inflation, enough defensive assets to reduce volatility, and enough cash for flexibility. And they need diversification. South Africa is less than 1% of global GDP. So for offshore exposure, it's not a luxury. It's part of risk management, and it helps reduce currency risk, political risk, and concentration risk. On retirement, you can withdraw up to 1/3 of your retirement funds as a lump sum. According to the 2026 retirement tax table, the first 550,000 Rand that you withdraw over your lifetime is tax-free. Above that, you hit a progressive tax rate. So, in many cases, withdrawing only the tax-free portion and keeping the rest invested can preserve capital and improve long-term sustainability. Here's a mistake we often see. People withdraw all their income from their living annuity. Remember, living annuity withdrawals are taxed as normal income. Let's say you need 100,000 Rand per month. If every Rand comes from a living annuity, you're pushing a large taxable income through the system, and your tax bill climbs quickly. But if you structure it smarter and draw part of your income from discretionary investments or tax-free savings accounts, you reduce the tax drag meaningfully. There are also other tools that you can consider, for instance, tax wrappers and Section 10C disallowed contributions. We've done a dedicated video on this topic. You can find the link in the description below. Even saving a few thousand Rand per month in tax can add up to tens of thousands of Rands per year. And that doesn't just save money, it often adds years of sustainability to a retirement plan. Because every Rand you don't pay to SARS is one less Rand you need to withdraw from your portfolio. Now, this is the part that catches smart people off guard. Retiring at 60 puts pressure on portfolios, especially early on. And this is where the real danger comes. Sequence of returns risks. If markets fall early in retirement while you're withdrawing at a high rate, you lock in losses and reduce the portfolio's ability to recover. That's why delaying retirement to 65, even partially, can dramatically improve outcomes. You reduce withdrawal pressure, you give capital more time to grow, and you increase resilience during bad market periods. In this example, our recommendation was to adjust the client's after-tax income requirement for retirement downward, taking into account their needs during early retirement. As a result, they needed to withdraw substantially less than they originally planned. We also provided a comprehensive tax planning support and assisted them with developing a dynamic retirement income strategy, including appropriate guardrails. The outcome of these recommendations? Well, for this specific scenario, based on the same long-term expected rate of return, assumed expected rate of return, this couple was now 96% funded, meaning there was a much higher likelihood they would be able to see out their entire retirement. Here's the thing. Retirement planning is not just a once-off event. Markets change, spending changes, health changes, and goals evolve. A good plan must be reviewed and adjusted consistently. That process is what turns a plan into something durable and sustainable. Retiring in South Africa with 22 million Rand is absolutely possible, but it's not automatic. Success depends on structure, tax efficiency, sensible investing strategy, and ongoing professional guidance. Retirement is not about guessing and hoping. It's about making informed decisions and adapting as life unfolds. If this video helped you think differently, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Would you retire at 60 if you had 20 million Rand saved? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. My name is R22. This is Family Wealth. Keep investing into your future.